Hi, folks. I'm Christina from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. We're going to get going in just a moment here. We're here to talk about the Wisconsin 35 project that'll start in Hudson and go through North End Road in the village of Hudson.
Can you repeat when?
Bell, the project manager. We have Andrew Huntley, the project leader. We have Barry Bowman from Triple Concrete, and along with city officials as well. So Andrew or Stacy, do you want to take it away?
Sure.
This is Andrew Huntley with CORE. I'll be the project leader for the project.
Hello?
Hello?
Your microphone went out.
Hey, Andrew, we can't hear you.
What?
Can you hear?
Hello? Yes?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes. I can hear you now.
We got muted on our end somehow. I'm Andrew Huntley, the project leader for the project, representing DOT. In here I have with my assistant project leader, Andrew Peterson, Barry Bowman with the prime contractor's PM, or he is the prime contractor PM. Stacy Lambell with the DOT, she is my project manager. And then both city guys, Mike Moraz and Dean Chamberlain with the city.
Are you able to hear him okay?
Who's the person with the city?
So we got Dean Chamberlain, city engineer here, and Mike Moraz, public works director.
Okay.
So this is Barry Bowman, Triple Concrete. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Occasionally, your phone, it sounds like you're kind of in an echo chamber a little bit.
I'm in City Hall.
That's why.
No comment. We're planning, you'll start seeing barrels go up this week. You'll see stuff being marked out for removals, limits being marked. And we plan to start come Monday morning at 7 a.m. We are going to start in two different spots. We're starting on the south end of town by the sewer treatment plant, putting in a deep sanitary line, which will come through from Front Street all the way up to the parking lot just south of Cooley Road. Traffic will be put in bi-directional sequence on the far west two lanes. The east two lanes will now be under construction, and that construction will be the two lanes. Once we get past Cooley Road, we will go into all traffic will be in the middle, and we will shut down the outside lanes to do new ADA sidewalk improvement at the intersections. At the same time, we are planning to close down what is called Segment 2. Segment 2 starts at Myrtle Street, just south of Myrtle Street, and goes all the way up to Division Street, just south of Division Street. That will be a full closure. No traffic will be allowed through between those intersections. That'll be for the replacement of the sewer, some stormwater improvements, and the water. We plan to start that also on Monday. If the third segment we're planning to start is up at the north end, segment 4, which is Monroe Street to Michelson Street. That's a week out from that. This project is very detailed and long. for the amount of time we've got. We have to be done by the end of November, and it gets cold in October and November, so we're trying to get it done as fast as we can. As we finish one segment, we'll be moving into another segment. As we can open intersections, we'll open intersections, but do not guarantee that the intersections will always be open. Our intent at all reasonable times is to keep a business entrance open. What is considered not a reasonable time is the replacement of that sidewalk, which we will make personal contact with the owner or leasee of that building to accommodate, what times we should be done, or when the new water hookups on some of these businesses that might be getting new water hookups will be completed. That'll be scheduled with A1 and yourselves to set a time when your water will be shut off and then turn back on. We are working right now. We haven't defined the schedule yet of doing the bridge work, which doesn't entail the whole stages, but entails just getting the bridge work done, which the bridge is getting some repair done and then in a polymer overlay. So at this time, that is in a nutshell what we're doing. And if people have questions, are we on team?
Yeah.
On team, please put your hand up on your screen and it should pop up so we can see, and we will call you by your telephone number that's on there to speak. Also, if you are not speaking, please leave your phone on mute so we do not hear other conversations in the background. I'll open it up for questions if people have it.
I have a question, but I'm not on the computer, so I had trouble getting on your link.
Okay, go ahead. You're talking. You're fine.
Okay, so first question is, how are we going to know which businesses are going to have their water turned off? We have we're the dental office for 22 2nd Street. I'm assuming we were not going to get our water turned off because this was just done in 2014 with the new business being done there in the building. But if that's the case, we need water to operate as a dentist. We would have to know in advance to shut the patients down and tell them they can't come in. We need water.
There is no water going in at your spot.
Okay, good. That's number one. Number two, okay, number two, will the Williams parking lot be open?
Yes.
So people enter that from 2nd Street?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. All right. And you'll be able to get off 94 to get on 2nd Street?
Yes.
Correct.
And are you allowing trucks on 2nd Street or not?
We'll have a restricted width, but we allow trucks on 2nd Street until you get into the full closure areas, and then it's going to local traffic.
Okay.
So to clarify your question, from Front Street to, or actually from Cooley and Buckeye Road to Vine Street, there is no water or sanitary improvements. There is very little storm sewer improvement. It's mainly going to be the work at the intersections to make it ADA compliant. And
I see.
And there is some lighting work being done in that area.
So nothing on Walnut Street then?
Nope,
Just at the intersection.
Okay.
just at the intersection of 2nd.
Okay, so that's basically up toward Vine, and all the mess is going to be at that end. You're just basically doing the roads and sidewalks up to Vine Street.
We're just doing the intersection sidewalks on most of it. There is some areas in between, but mostly it's the intersections.
Got it. Okay. That's not bad. Thought it was worse.
All right, Stacy.
Okay, so,
So the question from Joel says, will residents in segment 2 have access during construction? Yes, all the segments north of Vine Street, you'll have access. Now granted, when we're ripping out pipe or putting in utilities, you might be limited on how far you can get at the time. but there always would be some kind of access to there.
Will we know in advance when our particular property is going to be shut down?
So there is no vehicle access on any of these stages north of Vine. When we're starting utilities, the road is tore up. So if you have a driveway on Vine, you will not have access until we get the pavement down.
How long of a shutdown will that be for that section?
40 days.
So for example, I have a boat in my garage. You telling me I'm not going to have access to get in or out of my property for 40 days? Starting Monday?
Yes. I'm going to start ripping up the pavement starting Monday, the roadway pavement. So
I understand that, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't continue to maintain access with a gravel or a dirt road.
Well, I'm digging in sewer. I'm going to be, as soon as I remove the pavement, I'm digging in water and sanitary and storm.
Okay. Well, that's not the message that was communicated in previous meetings to the residents on 2nd Street. We were told there'd be some intermittent short-term interruptions, but that otherwise we would have access to the property.
I mean, I can't guarantee that. I mean, there's times that it might be there, but there's no provision to put gravel down on the road. When we're doing, so you understand, the first operation is going to be putting water line down. And the water line is on the west side of the road. So the west side of the road will be completely, as we go through, is going to be holes dug in and dirt piles.
So basically what you're saying, I better get my boat out of there before Monday if I want to use it for the next 40 days.
Well, not necessarily. I can't guarantee when.
All right.
Move the boat.
Well, what about our vehicles?
I can't guarantee it because of the schedule. It's not going to be gravel. You'll have access.
So sorry, this is Carola. Are you then suggesting that all of us who have vehicles and need to drive to work or need to use their vehicles are start to park on 1st Street or 3rd Street because we don't know when we might or might not have access to get out of our driveways?
I don't know how, to give you a timing thing. The first thing we're going to do is come Monday is start ripping up the asphalt and the curb. The sidewalk will be maintained access for you to walk on. As we go, for me to get, and I don't know where you live, but anybody on that street, for me to give you a time frame of when you have access and when you don't, it's almost really difficult because of the speed and the complexity of what we're doing, the safety of your vehicles in there, because there's no provisions to mark out, where to drive. There'll be equipment all over the place at night.
I understand. I understand, but there should be a clear message to all the residents to say, okay, folks, we don't know when. So make sure that if you need to go and use your vehicle for whatever, you need to start parking somewhere else because we can't tell you when your property is going to be shut down. I mean, what about all the residents over on the old folks home here too? I mean, I don't understand.
And she's also met sodium chloride.
Hey, this is Dean with the city here. So a lot of this kind of stuff is kind of like Barry was saying, is a little bit fluid, I guess, with the timing of everything. We'll be the project team will be in communication with people when they need to be moving things and stuff a lot too. So for the section between Myrtle and Division is the part that Barry's going to be working on first. If there is, if you need like access to your car between like 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., It's probably a good idea to park on one of those side streets like Myrtle, St. Croix, River Street, just to make sure that, Barry's not coming through with a big dump truck or something like that right when you need to get out or that kind of thing. So, and we as a city are trying to get out ahead of a lot of these, like more localized concerns, like getting into driveways and stuff like that too. So we'll hopefully be in as much communication as we possibly can with you guys too, to give a little bit more real-time information and hopefully knock on doors and say, hey, can you get out? Or if you need to get out, or if you need to get out in the next few days, we got to dig this pipe in the ground, or we got to pour this concrete pavement in. So just to give a little bit more real-time information. So I don't know if that helps you, but
I can let you know what it's going to look like, and within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, you're going to see the road completely gone, the curb and gutter gone. You're going to see a bunch of dirt piles, and you're going to see a bunch of pipe laying on the ground. And to move around there is going to be very hard for you to do without endangering yourself driving and getting stuck somewhere or lost in the. And I use the word lost because you get somewhere where you can't turn around, and you may get stuck.
I think we understand that. The issue that I have with that is that I attended all the meetings at City Hall that were discussed, where this project was discussed, and the message that was conveyed up until now was that there'd be only short periods of time where we would not have vehicle access to our driveways. And I understand at some point you have to tear up from curb to curb to put in a sewer main or something, but the message conveyed up until this point was that that time frame would be limited, and it certainly wasn't 40 days. Had I known in advance it was going to be 40 days, I would have rented somewhere to store a boat or made arrangements with neighbors to park vehicles for 40 days, not 2 or 3 days. That's all I got.
Okay. We're going to try, we're starting late right now due to some contractual stuff and COVID, basically, of trying to get everything done. The other thing is, once we start concrete pavement, we will be, pave the whole section in one shot, and then we have to wait for cure time to finish everything off. And as we're doing that, there'll be times where once my curb and gutter is in there, imagine, everyone's going to think that they can park on the street, but we still have a lot of work to do, and, no one wants to knock on the door to say that, can you move your car so we can pour your sidewalk or driveway? We want to get it done as fast as we can. The one thing I do want to mention is we start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we work till 7 o'clock at night. It is a disruption to everything you're comfortable in when we're working in your thing, because you're going to hear equipment pretty much the whole 12 hours. Backup alarms are required, by federal standards, so you're going to hear that stuff, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So I wanted to be upfront with everyone on that.
I got some North Hudson questions.
Okay.
Hey, sir, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Jen Walter, you're sharing your whole screen with everyone on this call. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I'm north of Monroe, about 6 houses. Will there be times where North Hudson people have to go north to V and River Road to get around to the grocery store and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
North Hudson is different than segment 2, because segment 2, there's very little storm sewer going on, where North Hudson, there's storm water and sanitary going on, and it's in an order. If you can imagine, we're going to dig a hole and put our dirt pile on the left side of the road. We're gonna come through and backfill that. There'll be a second crew following behind that's gonna dig up the left side of the road and move the dirt pile to the right side, following them to put the storm in. And then I'm gonna throw the sanitary in the middle of the road and put dirt piles on one side and my pipe will be on the other side. That's why I say it's real hard to maintain some access. There may be times, you know, that you may be able to get to your driveway, but you're doing that at your own risk because the road is not considered passable.
Okay. I better load up with frozen food.
I'm a North Hudson resident also, and I guess for clarification purposes, with the segments that you'll have, it'll obviously progressive, like from next week on through November, we should just expect if we want to efficiently get up on the hill in Hudson, we either have to go up and cross over down the Minnesota side, back on 94 and up, or out from now till November, we should plan to use an alternate route from North Hudson?
Not always necessarily, because can they get through going this way? 3rd Street here. You could go to 3rd Street, you know, from if you're south of the bridge.
If you're not speaking, could you please mute?
No, I'm way on, I'm right Cratley, 35 up Cratley, and Cratley to 35 is where I exit from my residence.
Okay.
So I'm I'd be heading north out of town, and like when they do the bridge, is there going to be will the bridge be alternate lanes, or will that at some point be closed entirely?
So great question. The plan has in there for 2 7-day closures to close the bridge, you know, for hookup of water and sanitary. We are trying to accommodate that to 1 lane for emergency vehicles and do it as fast as we can to connect it across. All
right.
35 will not be open, but our intent is to allow for emergency vehicles, both emergency and non-emergency vehicles to come through, local police and local officials to come through.
Okay, because that was my other question. How for emergency, medical, fire, etc., like you just said, will we be serviced like St. Joe's Fire Department, or do we have to wait for Hudson to come all the way around
Yeah, maybe I can answer that question. This is Dean from the city. I've been talking to the fire chief about this, and when there's a full closure, and Barry has some things he's trying to do to make sure that the full closures for emergency vehicles are limited. But if there is a time where emergency vehicles can't get across the bridge, we have planned in advance to have a crew over in North Hudson just kind of stationed there. So if there is a problem, we would just have somebody over there already. And so we'll be on top of that. So just to make sure that everybody's kept safe, you know.
Okay, appreciate that. And then through this entire project, where is the best site, or where are regular updates going to be available to folks as if say we get a ton of rain and everything gets pushed back, and what is there going to be a central information site?
We are.
Yeah, so this is Dean with the city again. So WISTA has some sites that use for construction information. The city also is maintaining a separate communications list as well. I was just going to say, just through the city here then. Okay. Yep. So if you want to be on that contact list, you can email me. This is Dean Chamberlain, I'm the city engineer. If you need my email address, it's on our city website, and you can shoot me an email and get you on the list.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks, Dean.
We will be updating the 511 project site. If you've been to that website, it's for the state projects that are going on in the Hudson.
Okay.
Could be a major issue.
Okay.
If you received one of our letters, it should be listed on there. Otherwise, we can have Dean make it available too.
Okay. Yeah, I've never gotten any type of a letter. So, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next
This is Susie Gilbert on Lake Malibu. Could you give me an update on, or approximate date on when the landing would be closed for Lake Malibu?
Right now, we are looking at August, and when we're doing that. But we're looking at doing the bridge, work in there earlier, but that's the closure would be in August.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, Joel, did Joel have a question?
My question was answered, thank you.
Okay. 4th of July parade?
There is not going to be a 4th of July parade for Booster Days this year.
Wow.
And that was, Booster Days kind of decided that on their own, so.
What about fireworks?
Yeah, fireworks.
Yes, there will be fireworks. So I guess maybe, there's a lot of Booster Days questions. Do you want to talk about that week of 4th of July? I know it's a big community question that keeps getting raised. Or anybody.
So this is Mike Mraz, Director of Public Works for the City of Hudson. I'll answer the Booster Days question. City staff has been in contact with Hudson Boosters representatives about the event. The event is still going on. It's going to be pared down a little bit. They're going to still have the carnival, music, food and drink, and the fireworks. The construction schedule, obviously they'll probably still be in the downtown area. However, they're going to kind of, I wouldn't say pull out, but limit their activities, beginning that Thursday before the event, lasting through Sunday, so that we can have our festival without much interruption. Obviously, the parade has been canceled this year just because of construction and COVID. But that kind of gives you an idea of, what is going to be happening during Booster Days and the effect that the project's going to have. Luckily, downtown isn't a complete reconstruct, so we should be able to get around fairly easily, knock on wood, for that event.
George has a question.
George?
Do you have a question? Here you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
How about detour signs? Mobile detour signs.
Mobile detour signs.
Yeah, because you're going to be moving things around quite a bit. Roads will be open, and they'll be closed, and they'll be open, they'll be closed. If you put up detour signs and they're mobile, from the standpoint of planting signs somewhere to help us out, because we don't have your schedule. I'm most concerned about North Hudson. And what you're telling me is it looks like Cub over in Stillwater get a lot of our business.
No. We can do PCMS before we...
Well, partially to answer your question, the road is officially going to be closed from Vine Street into North Hudson all the way from Monday until whenever it's done, right, Barry? So the closure itself is not going to move around. It's just that Barry's crew is going to be working in different spots at different times. So the closure will stay put. But as far as the signing goes, it'll be in one spot. But Barry will be moving around. That hopefully partially answers your question at least.
The one question I can answer for you on, your detour thing, is Highway 35 is technically closed to through traffic to people going through there. It's meant to be open to residents, you know, so someone going through will know how to get around when they hit Myrtle Street to get around. But someone coming up from down south or trying to come through will be on a detour route. Am I correct?
Correct.
Going into Minnesota, aren't we?
Yep.
We're going into Stillwater and coming around 994 for 35 traffic of state highway routes. The other thing that I want to mention is our intent is to be done with everything up to Vine Street except for the asphalt overlay and milling prior to the 4th of July. So we want to finish segment 1 before we do the asphalt, so we tie in the asphalt to the new concrete. That's something we've talked about to give you a better product of tie-in. So
you'll be doing all the concrete work downtown, get that all done with, 4th of July happens, and then after that, pave the street. Okay.
Well, it's paving in August when we get to segment 1.
Okay, Susan, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you. My question is for Village of North Hudson. Will Village of North Hudson be posting diagrams and updates and dates for each sections, the focus, like a daily focus for each section? We find that information on our village website.
It will not be a daily update. We will have a weekly update on there after our meetings of what we've accomplished and what we're going to do that week.
And I'm not aware of anything the village particularly is doing for communication, so it may be worth you talking to your, if you're in North Hudson, talking to your leadership about maybe getting some more of that going on. But as far as we know, they haven't decided to do that yet.
Christina, are you still on here?
Thank you.
I am. Hey, this is Christina from Weston. I'm the communications manager. This project has its own page. If you go to project.511wi.gov, you'll find this project, and I'll have the updates up there every week.
Did you get that, Susan? Whose phone's ringing?
Maybe let's go to the next person.
Okay, Amy, did you have a question?
Unmute, Debbie. Amy. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Sorry. This is Amy Noonan. I'm a village board trustee up in North Hudson, and we were under the impression the bridge would be closed for 2 weeks. It sounds like that's accurate. But I'm feeling unclear about, are we in North Hudson going to be able to drive down the bridge until that closure time and cut over onto, for example, River Street or Division to get around? Or are you telling us that that's going to be busted up phase 1 and it's going to, access will be denied there through the entire project? I'm kind of hearing a mixed message on it. And then also, can you please repeat the website for weekly updates so I can get that down? Thank you.
I actually just entered the website in the chat box, so if you go to the chat box, you can find the website.
Thank you very much.
First of all, someone has an open mic and is creating a lot of static. If you're not talking, please mute yourself so everyone can hear.
Christina. Christina.
Yes.
Could you try to put up the 511 site on your screen?
Sure.
Whoever gets the request for Christina to take control of their screen, could you please allow it?
All right, thank you. Your question, the bridge, if everything goes right, will be open. When you get down to segments 1 and 2, you will have to take a turn to either go to first or third to get around the segment that is constructed at that time. You will be able to keep going through on local roads. Am I correct, Dean?
Yep. So for North Hudson traffic, apart from those 2 1-week closure periods that Barry talked about earlier, you will be able to, from North Hudson, use the local side streets to get to the bridge, using like South Street, I believe. to get onto the bridge over Lake Malibu, and then you'll be able to go up to Division Street, where you'll have to turn left to get up to 3rd Street, and that will be your way to get into Hudson proper from North Hudson, apart from those 1-week closure periods. Those 2 1-week closure periods they're just something that we have to do to get those pipes in the ground for certain spots where you can't avoid it. But for the rest of the time, that 3rd Street to Division Street in Hudson will be available for local North Hudson traffic.
Yay!
Happy to give someone some good news today. That's great.
So Amy, I see your hands up again. Did you have another question?
That was a mistake. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. So we have.
I got a question.
Okay.
Kevin Oeum told me I've got a catch basin right next to my driveway. And he said those catch basins are being moved 75 feet to the south. My driveway is right in the middle of that flood every time it rains in North Hudson. I'm sure a lot of people know about that. But they're taking the catch 531.
Mobile plan has addresses.
What? Okay, while we're looking into that one. Sorry, Bennett, do you have a question?
90 and a half. Page 90 and a half.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay.
So the gentleman that talked about the catch basins.
Yes.
We are moving, I could say, 75 feet. There will actually be a double catch basin going in there, which will catch more water than your single one you have right now.
Is the one at my driveway going to remain?
No, that is gone.
That's
just outside your driveway.
Okay, that's the bottom of the bowl. Are you going to regrade the street to move the bottom of the bowl 75 feet south?
It does come up. The road does come up.
At my driveway?
Yes. From your driveway all the way down to like your fourth neighbor down with the driveway.
Down meaning south?
We raised the road from there all the way down a little bit.
Okay, will I be able to get my driveway widened?
I cannot do that.
It's only about 9 feet wide right now with the catch basin in there.
It'll be the city standard driveway width that was in the design from the village, so.
Based on the existing drawings, it looks like it'll be bigger, but can't promise that until I measure it.
Okay.
They're all standard sizes.
Well, I'm retired.
When I look at the drawings, all the driveways look like the driveways that are there are narrow, and all the new driveway aprons look like they increased by a couple feet.
Okay, well, that'll help.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
did
be
the
out-
North Hudson, sorry,
Go ahead.
did the North Hudson Village President have a comment? I see their hands up.
Stan, you out there? If you're talking, you're muted.
Dan, are you muted?
Oh,
Okay.
dropped off.
Jen, did you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
So for us businesses in North Hudson, we're just east of the old Freedom Station there. Are we, because we have, we're every day, during this COVID, we have not been on Saturdays, but otherwise we're Monday through Friday. So do we have to tell people to go either to the west or across the river to get to us until November? Did you hear that?
Yeah, we heard it. Where exactly are you at?
We're in the strip mall to the east of the old Freedom Station on Summers.
Oh,
Summers Street.
Thank you. We're just trying to find our information.
So when we do segment 5 will be closed. And from Summer Street, there is very limited work from the north coming into Summer Street. So that, and when I say limited work, at Summer Street intersection, we have probably a day of storm work in there, and that's it. So from there to Summer Street will be very minimal work until we do the concrete work at the intersection. And that would be, you're probably looking at 2-week closure at that point. So to get to Summers from the north will be a limited, let's say, 3 to 4 week closure periodically. And we're not starting that segment until September.
Okay, but otherwise, coming from the south, because we've got, probably half of our clients, maybe 60% or more, that are going to be coming on the south, coming from Hudson proper, and even south of the interstate. So from next Monday forward, are they all going to have to either go, to the east to come around, whatever, exit 4 or whatever it is, get around, or go into Minnesota?
Come September, they would have to go into Minnesota or come up 3rd Street all the way to be the safest.
But you're saying before September? Before September, though?
Yes, because segment 4 will go, right away. May 3rd, we're planning to start segment 4 or week after. And then from there, we'll go into segment 3. So those are closures. And then we'll come up to segment 5.
And I'm sorry, I know somebody's already asked this, but where is this overall comprehensive segment 1 through 5 map in the timetable? I'm sorry, where do I find that?
So are you calling in, or can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see my screen.
Okay, so Christina's got up the 511 website.
I see her on that there, yes.
Go in there, Christina.
All right, sorry, I just had to unmute myself. So if you can see the map of Wisconsin, we're actually in the northwest section. So if you click on the northwest section, it'll bring up all of our active projects so far. If you come over here and click on the Hudson project and go to view project, here you'll find information about the project. I do not have the schedule for the segments yet, but I should this week, and I will get them added to that site.
And our contacts are in there.
Yeah, and if you have any questions during construction, Andrew, the project leader, his phone number's here. Stacy, our project manager's here. Nicole, the supervisor is, and I am as well. You can call me anytime or shoot me an email, and I can run down information for you if I don't have it.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. So, is it more convenient for you guys if we contact you? We've got something that affects us, but no doubt it will affect other people. To contact you by email or by phone?
Doesn't matter. Whatever's easier for you guys.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
happen.
Okay, so Technique, did you have a question?
Hello? Yep. Go ahead.
Technique? Hello?
Yes.
Is this Technique?
No,
Oh,
but I have a question.
Okay.
okay.
So my question is, we're in the first phase from Front Street to Vine. I'm wondering if it's wise or not to put planters outside our business by our front doors or not. Will that be in the way of what you're doing? And we are on the east side of the street.
What intersection, please?
Pardon me?
Whereabouts are you located?
422 Second Street, the dental office, right by the Williams parking lot. I mean,
Are you at the intersection or are you?
no, we're right before Walnut Street. We're two businesses from San Pedro's. We're before San Pedro's toward Walnut. On the east, that's the east side of the 35.
Is it gonna be up by your building or?
They're right up next to the building, yes.
Okay, so you understand what's happening from Vine Street down. We are sawing the sidewalk 18 inches behind the curb, putting new lighting conduit. There'll be lighting poles that'll be going in. And then we'll be pouring it back in with concrete. So there'll be a lot of construction going on there.
Okay.
At that time. So that is at your, I want to give you that information. I cannot stop you from doing that, but that sidewalk up next to your building will not be removed.
It will not be removed.
Correct.
Okay. So by that building front to the curb, is there anything that's going to be removed?
Yes.
The curb possibly, or?
Nope.
No. And so everything should be okay there, correct?
There's an 18-inch wide sliver of the sidewalk getting removed. That's getting removed so we can put brand new lights in. That's all
Okay.
removed from the curb up to your building.
Okay. So you already know where the lights are going, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a light in front of 422 on the far south end of 422.
So that one will be removed and it will be replaced?
Nope, it just gets removed.
Totally. That's too bad. That's a nice old light that probably's been there for years. Are you going to be putting any new lighting in on the whole street?
We are.
You are, okay. Are you going to reuse the old ones?
No.
Okay. So, got it. All right, that just answers that question. So it's depending, to our discretion, basically, correct?
If you keep them up near your building, you should be fine.
Well, that's where they are, and we're not that far from the light posts, but I just wanted to know for sure, because if it's going to be in the way, we wouldn't put anything out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of foolish to do it if it's going to be in your way.
It won't be in my way. I just can't tell you about dust and all that, whether that'll hurt your plants or whatever. So.
Well, that's not that big of a deal. The whole deal is if it's going to be in the way of your construction, it's kind of foolish to put it there. But if it's not, then we can, so that's just kind of where I'm sitting with that. I just don't want to spend the money on it if we can't put them there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That answered my question. Thank you, sir.
We got a 5-minute
Can
warning.
you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Andrew.
Okay, this is Techniques. I had my cell phone, and the program, so it just doesn't let you do both at the same time. I have questions about our business on North Hudson. We're by the Linex almost across from Mickelson Street. And I'm trying to understand what you're telling people. It sounds like yeah.
Okay, I think we lost you, but we can have Andrew stop in there and talk to you.
Right.
Okay, about this.
And
would that be all right? We're running short on time, so we kind of want to get through. So you're at Technique?
Yes, we're at Techniques.
Would that be okay if you stopped in?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Bennett? Bennett, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm at 708 2nd Street, and we also own the building at 702, which we're just north of Vine, and we're east of 2nd Street there. So I'm wondering if those buildings, are you going to shut off any of the utilities to our buildings?
There will be, you're north of Vine. You will have a shutdown for water at one point, but that will be communicated with you during construction.
So there's going to be a heads up for that shutdown of the water?
Yes.
And how much lead time is that usually?
48 hours, I think, to 24 to 48 hours. And that else, we'll accommodate the best we can. If you've got something going on and there's a better time, we'll accommodate that, but it does have to happen. We can't just push it off.
Okay, is it just the water you shut down, or do you shut down like sewer, or what else do you shut down?
Just the water.
Okay, and that's
actually sewer, they'll do it the same, why it's still there.
Okay, so 48-hour notice?
24 to 48.
24 to 48. Okay, we're going to need to know that. And then also we have a parking garage underneath the building. I talked to Dean earlier about, I just don't understand what's going to happen to the skirt for the driveway to the parking garage. Is that all going to be shut down? Are we not going to be able to park our vehicles down there?
Correct. During this when we do that segment, yes.
Do you know at what point, can you give me a date as to when that segment starts?
Right around July 1st.
So we should have parking till roughly July then?
Correct.
Okay. I think that's it. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Joel, did you have a question yet?
Yeah, follow-up question. I live on 2nd, so my driveway comes out on 2nd. And is there a maximum width that the driveway will be replaced to? Because I think my driveway might be 10 plus feet wide right now, blacktopped, and that's how big the approach is right now. Will it be downsized, I guess, is what I'm asking?
Shouldn't be.
What's your actual address?
1100 2nd.
It appears like they're getting bigger than what your driveway is behind you. Same as what we talked about North Hudson.
So we'll be coming up to Vine Street, and that is just basically the only utility work we're doing is a little storm, and we're coming up with sanitary into the parking lot.
Will there be any,
You talk all
so
the
the
time.
road will be closed from the water plant up to Vine?
Nope, it will not. Up to Vine will be open at all times.
Up to Vine?
Basically,
So there'll be no road closure then in downtown?
Nope.
There will be lane closures.
Lane closure. Yep.
Road, but, okay.
Road closures start at Vine and go all the way into North Hudson.
All right.
I was going to ask about under the railroad overpass. That was a big issue
wanted more clearance there, or how did that end up? They were gonna, now it says 13 feet, 11 inches, but of course, no truck can be over 13 feet 6 unless you have a special permit, but still kind of low. They were gonna dig down, or how did that end up, and then the sidewalks and retaining walls, or?
Well,
It was gonna all be weird, where it was gonna be sloped, or that's how it's still gonna be, or?
I think I can probably answer for Wistat that the road is getting lowered about 9 inches or so through there. Yep.
Well, you know, the other option, the railroad, of course, it was Union Pacific since '95. Before that was the Chicago Northwestern who put that in, and they kind of messed up. Of course, the Union Pacific's been fixing a lot of the Chicago Northwestern's mess-ups during that time, which I'm retired from them for about 8 years. But anyway, you know, it could be jacked up. They could jack that up. They jack the bridges up all the time. Jack it up and shim it. And I talked to folks there. I don't think they were asked to do it. If the state DOT would have asked them to do it, they would do it. It'd be so much simpler, but I guess kind of late now.
A little late now.
Yeah.
But they jack the bridges all the time. It's not that long. Nobody thought of that, I guess.
No. So.
Shim it up like 10 inches or 9 inches or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of past the design point on things, but yeah, no,
it could be
it's
jack it up and shim it like so much.
Yep.
You know, and then the rail is lays in rock, and then they tamp under the, well, they call it ballast, the rock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Should have asked them. They would have done it.
So. Yep.
Yeah, I apologize for my ignorance. I'm not really familiar with the project. I heard there was gonna be closures after Vine. I live on the highway.
Okay.
And so I was just wondering, like, there are timetables of when that will happen?
Where do you live?
Second in St. Croix.
He's in the part you're working on.
You'll be in the first segment that we close on Monday.
Okay, yeah, I saw cone work really close to me. Okay, so that's this Monday.
Yep.
And then
a week from today.
Access is just from First Street then?
What?
Access would be on First Street?
First or third, yep.
And then what, that you take third to get across the bridge still, or is that closed?
Nope, the bridge, the bridge has a 2-week closure in the plan. We're gonna try and build it so we can maintain access for emergency vehicles.
Okay.
Public, versus, and also non-emergency vehicles, law enforcement and government officials to go through.
Pedestrian traffic?
Pedestrian traffic, but not, vehicle traffic to the public. It's a matter of keeping emergency services open to the bridge, north side. And the reason it's closed is to get our utilities across. And we're trying to work out a plan where we don't have to do that so we can allow that service to continue.
Would the bridge close during school time or after school closure?
It'll be after school. But the closure, it'll be bi-directional at some point. And that part could be during school, but it'll be open during school life.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Will the Second and Vine intersection stay open for the entire project?
Yes.
Okay.
We are starting at Vine about maybe a few feet into the Vine intersection with some tie-ins, and then going north from there.
Okay.
Everything from Vine Street down is ADA improvements at the intersections, and some sidewalk and lighting improvements.
And repaving.
And then we will be milling off and repaving it with asphalt over the top of the concrete that's there. South of Vine.
Barry, at the earlier meeting, you mentioned the third segment from Monroe to Michelson that was going to start a week later.
Fourth segment.
Fourth segment, yes.
Yep.
But that was going to be number 3 in terms of we're going to have 3 segments going within the first couple of weeks.
Yep. So this is a very complicated project that has a lot of new utilities going in, and it takes time in building them in the sequence that we're building them. Completion is November 30th. The last 4 years we've had snow in October. So we're trying to do our best to get as much done as we can before snow comes.
So will the bridge be open to North Hudson residents at any time?
The bridge will be open to North Hudson residents all time
except for the 2 7-day closures, which we're working on trying to eliminate and maintain it for emergency services only.
Okay, so then I saw you plan to have some stoplights. Is that still in the plan or is that
Yes.
dropped?
Nope, that's in the plan.
Okay.
They will go in prior to even any bridge work. That stuff will all go at the same time, and probably within the next 4 weeks, all the temporary lights will be up, and they'll be bagged until they're needed. So.
I'm sorry, did you go over the timelines of those phases at all? Or do you know high level when those kind of are?
So we're going to start in segment 2, and in segment 4, I've got for May 3rd. Right around 4th of July, we're going to hit from Vine Street up to Myrtle Street. And then we're going to be in June on the bridge segment, in September on the last segment on the north end. And then the bridge is set in August to do the paving by the bridge.
If your dates are.
This might be easier to see after we're done talking. We can show you up here when.
Yeah,
when
that's
we're
fine.
done.
That's high level dates. All looking for.
We're going to put together a list for the 511 construction, and we'll have basically from intersection, it'll say from including intersection or from intersection to this will be construction window as anticipated. Now things change. You might come back in 2 months and say, well, this is supposed to happen. Things might change on how we're doing it, where we're at, come up with a better way of doing stuff, to speed the project up.
Yep.
So that's the best website to look at. And the city will have a link to it and have some updates weekly.
If any of you would like to give Christina your email address, we can make sure you get added onto our list of updates also.
Otherwise, too, I also have a contact list of folks involved with the project, so get that from me before you go. It'll have websites for information, and it'll have all of our names and phone numbers.
The city is also putting together an email communications list to kind of handle some of those like local issue kind of things. And so if you get a flyer from Christina and look up my email address, I'm Dean, I'm the city engineer. Shoot me an email, I can get you on the list, and hopefully between all of us we can get whatever you are concerned about covered. So
That contact list, the one that was sent out was the DOT letter?
Yes.
Stupid question. Now, I know you want to do that corner Cooley and 2nd Street, the intersection, the lights. Can you give a hint of what you're going to do, how you're going to change that? Because that's the stupidest damn light. You got 2 lefts should be going this way. Instead, you got one going this way, and you're sitting there and you can't see behind the car. Well, there's accidents.
Stacy?
I'm
building it per plan.
Do you want me to talk about that? Okay.
Go for it, Dean.
So the signal there is getting replaced, right? And there are some improvements happening to the intersection. We're a little bit penned in because we got so much weird angles of streets and stuff like that going on there. However, we are trying to make some improvements through the design made some improvements to, so if you're coming off of 94, coming towards town, right now, if you're in that left lane, you get stuck turning left, right? And if you're in the right lane, you can choose to either go straight or go right up the hill. And instead, because everybody backs up in that right lane during the afternoon rush hour, how it's going to work is that if you're in the right lane, you have to turn right going up the hill. And if you're in the left lane, you go either straight through or take a left to Lakefront Park. So there should balance out the traffic a lot better through there. And then also there's going to be left turn arrows, northbound and southbound, after the project is done too. So they can the left turns can go together, and that should help things out there too. So we did make improvements for you. It's not perfect, but
Other questions?
Do you have the dates of the bridge closures? For what month at least?
Right now, if everything held, it'll be August.
Okay, August. Right at Pepperfest. If they have it this year.
What?
If they have Pepperfest this year.
There's provisions as far as keeping traffic open and stopping work to allow for holidays and.
That's just down there though.
Yes, down on this end.
So it doesn't Pepperfest.
Right.
other questions? We'll also be around here after, this official part is done to answer anything too, and we'll have this up here at the table, so.
Can you guys post something like that on the website somewhere along there so that people can actually look at, you've got dates on there. It kind of gives people an idea, visual idea, this section here and here.
And I want to, make sure you understand these dates are not, that you plan on. These are anticipated dates. They can go either way.
If you go to this website right here.
Have it online just to share with
Okay.
people because, I have tenants who are on 2nd Street here, and there's no way for me to, I can just say it's happening, but I don't know anything, and there's no place right now for me to even send them to say, here's what's going on. So it'd be really helpful, even just have something to share with people to send them to. So
Okay.
we all understand, I think, dates.
If you go to this website right here, this 511 Wisconsin Construction Projects website, it'll have a lot of the details and the contact numbers. So if you don't see the detail you're asking for, just contact any of those that are listed there, and one of us will get the answer to you.
And there'll be a link from the city website to that?
Yes.
We can put one on there, yep. Yep.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
All these are okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
If you said you're doing so much utility work, does that mean that the houses will lose utilities for any one time?
That'll be coordinated with each property owner. There'll be a 24 to 48 hour notice for you to agree on that, and it's only for the water shutdown. To connect the water.
Yeah.
Typically, we can do 6 to 8 connections, depending on how close they are, how deep, how much, a day. So.
Is that going to affect pressure at all or anything like that?
When they turn your water back on, you'll have to run your water for a little bit. Yes, it will.
Like long-term pressure?
No, just to get the water back in the system.
Are you going to have any nighttime crews?
Great question.
So that, in my mind, because I'm really stuck on the bridge living on North Hudson. If you had nighttime crews, you could do the work at night and keep the bridge open maybe one lane during the day. But what's your thought on that? No or yes? And get it done faster too if you had nighttime crews.
We're always about getting faster. Nighttime operations, I think the bridge does allow for nighttime in the second day, the 7-day closure, Stacy. Whether we use it or not, we're trying to figure out better avenues to make stuff work. But when we start putting the concrete pavement down, depending on the temperatures, the saws could be going at night to keep it from cracking, premature cracking. And we'll post it on when we're doing it and that, but that sawing is critical to what we do. In the middle of the summer, when it's 85 degrees, your nights are 60, 70, we hope to be done sawing by 10, 11. If it's early in the year and late in the year where it's cool, we may be sawing at 3, 4 in the morning. We may not be sawing till 7 the following morning, depending on what the concrete's curing like. So that's something that will vary out there. Our hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we're anticipating working Saturdays from 7 till 3, once we get rolling. So at 7 a.m. you will hear the backup alarms, you'll hear the equipment. That's all regulated stuff that we have to have, and it's a disruption. And construction in itself is a disruption to everybody that's on the project. But the end result is what we're looking for. So. Any other questions?
At the
Cooley.
signal?
Cooley from there. We're going to be, so traffic coming off the interstate will come and they'll be on the west side of the road bi-directional. And we'll be doing our work
on each direction.
On each direction. And then once we get out there, they'll both move to the middle of the road and both outsides will be closed. From Cooley up to Vine, we're improving all the intersections for 88. So that will be the main part of our work besides a little bit of miscellaneous stuff. The other thing that will happen is the sidewalk will be cut behind the curb to allow for electrical work to get in. And there's new lighting going in. So.
Yeah. So if anybody else doesn't want to shiver and take off, it's totally fine. We'll be around answering any questions too. So if you have any specifics or whatever.
Thank you for coming. And on that site, the website, you can get contacts for DOT people and project leaders. So, all right, thank you.